Hi students, I hope you're having a great summer and I hope that you are enjoying all that you have been learning about in psychology. It's hard to believe because it feels like we just started, but now it is time to start talking about our midterms. So here on the screen, I want to point out that before you go to week 3 module, that you have a module for your midterm exam. Your midterm exam will cover chapters 1 through 7, and this is one of those exceptions to the regular Sunday due date. It is due on Wednesday, June 22nd. So it is a multiple choice test. It's very, very similar to the quizzes that you have been taking after each chapter. So again, this will cover chapters 1 through 7. So make sure you get that midterm taken care of. As we look forward to week 3, this week we will be covering chapters 8, 10, 12, and 13. So chapter 8 is overthinking, intelligence, and language. So in this chapter, you will learn about how our brain categorizes all the information that we've learned. We just looked at learning and memory last week. So putting that into an applicable usage, and then how that's measured through intelligence. So this chapter will teach you about how IQ it's a mathematical formula, how that is calculated, what that means, looking at the spectrum, both ends of the spectrum of intelligence measurement. And then the chapter summarizes with language acquisition, vocabulary, some of the benchmarks for acquisition of language. So for chapter 8, you will have 2 assignments in Connect, one on critical thinking and metacognition, the other one on bilingualism, and then your chapter 8 post-test. Chapter 10 is over motivation and emotion. So what I love about this chapter is that I feel like this is psychological theory, of course, but it's one of those chapters where you can really start analyzing yourself, or that's what I hope that you do, through the theoretical frameworks that you understand. So what drives you? What motivates you? What prompts you into action? And then the second part of the chapter covers all of those emotions. So a lot of goal setting, a lot of introspection can be done with what you learn in this chapter. So 2 assignments in Connect. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow has a very, very famous theory with a pyramid on how people reach and where their motivation lies based upon what stage of his theory you are currently in. You'll see Maslow's theory not just in psychology, but sociology, business, education. It's a very widely used theory. And then another Connect assignment on motivation and a chapter 10 post-test. Chapter 12 is on personality. So in this chapter, you will get to learn about some of the major personality theories. You'll look at the big 5. You'll learn about the difference between introversion and extroversion. Because of the nature of this being a general psychology course, the chapter doesn't dive into every single theory on personality, but a lot of the big ones are covered, and certainly the major theorist that talked about personality development, personality play out in terms of your life and your relationships and your jobs and so forth. So a very good introduction to theory of personality. This one you have a couple different assignments here. You have one on the trait theory of personality, which is one of the major theories, and then one that's an application of how your personality affects your GPA and how you think about your GPA based upon your personality, and the chapter 12 post-test. You will also have a discussion question over this chapter. So as I pull it up here, just make sure, again, ideally you would have your initial post done on Wednesday so that your classmates have a chance to do the second part, which is responding to 2 classmates' posts, which is due by Sunday. So it's kind of a 2-parter here. we've done a discussion question before. I didn't count off points if you didn't get all elements of the response. I know you're trying to figure it out as we were introducing ourselves, but this time make sure that you initially post to this question up here. So, you're after reading about the different theories on personality, which one do you like the best? Which one do you think makes the most sense? Explain, justify why you pick that one. And then how can you apply the information you learned about whichever theory you picked as your favorite to your own life? So that's the initial post I would like to see done by Wednesday night. Just about 150 word count, 2 to 4 paragraphs. These aren't full papers. You don't have to worry so much about APA format within your response. But if you do use a citation, make sure you provide the full APA citation at the bottom. It's not necessarily a requirement that you use a citation, but oftentimes you may choose to do so. Just make sure that you're capturing where you got that information from, and then post to 2 of your classmates by Sunday. As I go back, hopefully this back button just works. Thank you very much. That takes us right back into where we were initially in the module. So again, just to reiterate, a couple of assignments in Connect on trait theory and GPA and personality, and then you have your discussion question on personality and your Chapter 12 post-test. And then lastly, to round out this week, we have Chapter 13, which is over social psychology. So social psychology is going to teach you all of the theories around why our behavior is affected by other people. So remember, I say semester, and I know it's just been a few weeks, but you've covered a lot of material up to this point. We've been talking about, an individual's behavior and mental processes, which is what psychology is. So now we're going to look in this chapter of how other people affect that behavior within the individual. So a lot of interesting topics here. The 2 Connect assignments I picked out for you is one on evolution and bad boyfriends. That title hopefully captures your interest in what is that assignment about. So check that out. And then you have one on mate selection. How do you choose your mate? What factors go into that? And then a Chapter 13 post-test. So hopefully these are some of your favorite topics that you've learned about so far. A lot of things from personality to motivation and emotion, wrapping up with that social psychology. So about kind of general rule of thumb here, a couple of Connect assignments per chapter plus the chapter post-test for each chapter in this module, and then that discussion question. Also, just a reminder, don't forget about your midterm. So I will go ahead and be posting your midterm grades to ACES. Of course, I want to remind you that you can always be up to date on knowing what your grade is in this course by looking at your grade in Canvas. Canvas is our official grade book, but I will be posting those very early in the week before all these assignments are due and before your midterm is due. Midterm grades are due. It's just kind of how the summer works. We just kind of roll with it. But I'm here for you for any questions, any help, any clarification that you may need. If you have any questions about your grade, please do reach out to me. And have a great week learning about all these interesting topics. And hope you are staying cool. It has been hot and dry out there. My garden needs some rain, so cool off if nothing else. So I just really hope you're having a great summer. Take care, everybody, and I will be back next week as we really start already thinking about wrapping up this summer session. Take care, everybody.